We need to experience and feel nature. We need to use our imagination to understand nature. And plants feed our imagination much more so, I think, than just our bellies.
William Bartram was a Quaker. He was an artist, and that's what he loved. He was not good at business or anything like that.
Bartram was a remarkable naturalist. He was an extraordinary botanist, and I think because of his many achievements, travels, the over 200 illustrations that we have, we sometimes lose sight of just what a good scientist he was.
The Travels, though, does have this way of showing how science can be interspersed with poetry.
For Bartram, it's a matter of both understanding rationally and understanding intuitively, of understanding through science, but then also understanding through art.
Bartram was able at a very early stage, before anybody ever thought about ecosystems or anything about the way in which the cycles of nature manifest themselves, to put it on paper where you could see it.
Travel writing is probably the most innate form of storytelling there is. I mean, before there was language probably, or just rudimentary language, everybody was telling everybody about what I saw when I was outside, and then I came back and I'm really happy to be here.
Travels was a weird book. Travels was seen as a strange book in its day.
He was the first of our writers to write something for the popular audience.
You know, there's that saying, history's not what happened. It's a construct. Travel writing's not what happened either.
It isn't an academic book, and I think he wanted to sell it.
People found it excessive. People were very doubtful of his discussion of Native Americans.
I think he was just modeling on what he thought and his instincts for what would make a good narrative. Fighting alligators alone is a very good narrative piece. You can, even Robinson Crusoe can't beat that.
Most of my friends and colleagues who work on Bartram will always bring up he's a botanist, that's his first love. That might be so, but his, I think, most significant contribution and lasting contribution are the incredible descriptions of native peoples that he leaves.
William Bartram didn't want their plants, he didn't want their animals, he didn't want their women, he didn't want their land. All he wanted to do was observe.
He addressed throughout Travels and in a couple of other places what was really one of the most pressing scientific issues of the day, and that's where did the Indians come from?
I think his interest in morality and ethics certainly helped him see them as they were and not with preconceived notions.
These feelings of terror and awe were something for humans to seek out. And that was called the Sublime.
Bartram was something of a misfit in his own society. He marched to that different drummer.
What he's looking at and what he's describing in the Travels is the interconnection of all of that humans are no longer above and beyond everything else.
Even though Bartram was drawing plants anatomically, even though he was rendering the parts of plants for identification, he was also trying to capture the soul of the plant.
Seeing all these exotic plants, which we see today in garden centers, I think it would be lovely to kind of pause once in a while and think about the people who risk their lives to bring them in, but also just to think about all the stories that hang on these plants.